Chosen one, your journey has just entered a phase no one around you can truly comprehend. Something sacred within you, something long dormant and deeply encoded, has awakened. It's not just intuition, and it's far more than a coincidence. Your spiritual genes, written in the very architecture of your soul, have now turned on. This is not imagination. This is not exaggeration. This is activation. And it means everything is about to change for you, in ways both subtle and seismic. Before we go deeper into this revelation, I ask you to commit to this moment. Watch this video until the very end, because each word you hear is part of your spiritual DNA being acknowledged, stirred, and awakened. And when you finish watching, I invite you to write in the comments your warmest wishes for the universe and your fellow chosen ones, along with the number 77, which symbolizes divine awakening and inner power. This simple act will help radiate your intention into the cosmos, syncing you with the divine current flowing through this very message. Now, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive deeper. You are not just a product of biology. You are a fusion of celestial design and spiritual encoding. From the moment your soul crossed through the veil into this human experience, you carried within you strands of energy, memory, and mission. These spiritual genes are not visible under a microscope. They are embedded in the frequencies you emit, in the vibrations you receive, in the way your intuition pulses like a heartbeat when you're near truth or deception. And now, these invisible blueprints are no longer dormant. They are alive, activated, and calling you to step fully into your divine design. This activation isn't random. It's not a lucky spark or a cosmic accident. It's the result of lifetimes of evolution, trials, reincarnation, spiritual learning, karmic cleansing, and soul refinement. Every heartbreak you've felt, every betrayal you've survived, every night you've spent in silence with tears on your pillow, they were not in vain. They were sacred initiations. You were being shaped, softened, and sharpened for this very moment. Your pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Now that your spiritual genes are active, you may start feeling strange shifts within yourself. A sudden urge to detach from old habits, a resistance to superficiality, an overwhelming sense that you must protect your energy and align with authenticity. You'll notice people reacting to you differently, either drawn to your light or triggered by your vibration. That's because your frequency has changed. Your very energy has become a living beacon, a lighthouse in the fog of unconsciousness. You may be experiencing dreams that feel more real than waking life. You may hear inner voices, not madness, but guidance. You may feel the presence of something ancient within you, watching, guiding, nudging. That is not your imagination. That is your ancestral memory awakening. Your spirit guides, higher self, and divine connections are now closer to your awareness than ever before. This is what it means to walk as one whose spiritual DNA has activated. You are now a receiver and a transmitter of divine truth. Your thoughts are no longer just thoughts, they are creative codes. Your emotions are no longer random, they are portals. Your decisions now shift timelines. You are a co-creator with the universe, whether you realize it or not. And now that your spiritual genes have turned on, the universe will no longer allow you to live small, think small, or act out of alignment with who you truly are. You will be lovingly, but firmly, pushed into growth. That's why discomfort is a common symptom of activation. It's not the universe punishing you. It's your soul refusing to stay asleep. The gifts inside you are awakening too. You may begin sensing energies in rooms, feeling people's emotions as your own, receiving information that has no logical source. Your sensitivity is not a weakness, it is your superpower. You may feel called to study healing arts, energy work, meditation, or sacred knowledge. Follow these nudges. They are echoes from your soul, reminding you of the roles you've played in lifetimes past. Healer, guide, protector, mystic. Those memories are encoded in your spirit, and they are now coming online. You may lose interest in things that once fascinated you. Old relationships may feel strained. You may feel lonely, isolated even, as if you don't belong anywhere anymore. But that's only because you're not meant to fit into the old world. You are here to help build the new one. And like all builders of something revolutionary, you must first be pulled away from what is familiar so you can be introduced to what is destined. Do not fear this transition. Embrace it like a rite of passage. The people who have mocked you, misunderstood you, or underestimated you were never your enemies. They were part of your soul's curriculum, tests, mirrors, reflections. Their resistance helped sharpen your discernment. Their judgment taught you sovereignty. Their absence cleared space for your tribe. Now that your spiritual genes are active, the false connections will fall away, and true soul alignments will emerge. You are entering the era of sacred relationships. Connections not based on convenience, but on divine resonance. This journey isn't easy, but it is sacred, and you were chosen because you have the inner strength, the resilience, and the ancient memory to walk it. You are not alone, though it may feel that way at times. Others are awakening too. Across the planet, souls like yours are being stirred into remembrance. We are scattered like stars, but part of the same constellation. And as your spiritual genes continue to activate, you will recognize your kin, not by appearances, but by energy. Your path may not be linear. It may twist and break, circle and restart. But know this, you are exactly where you need to be. There are no detours, only divine redirections. Trust the process. Your activation is not just for your benefit. It is for everyone your light will touch. Every healed part of you heals generations forward and back. Every truth you embody liberates others to do the same. You are a ripple that becomes a wave, a spark that starts a fire, a prayer that becomes a prophecy fulfilled. The time of hiding is over. The time of dimming your light is over. The world is hungry for the energy only you can bring. So stand tall in your strange, beautiful truth. Let your gifts flow freely. Let your energy shake the ground beneath old systems. Let your voice be the wind that whispers freedom to those still asleep. This is your calling, your activation, your destiny, and it has only just begun. The moment your spiritual genes turned on, a quiet revolution began inside of you, one that no one else could see, but you could feel it in your bones, in your breath, in the space between your heartbeats. It didn't start with a flash of lightning or a voice from the sky. It began in stillness, with the quiet knowing that you are not who you were yesterday, and you can never go back to pretending to be. The illusion has shattered. The veil has lifted. You are no longer asleep within your own life. You've likely noticed it. The memories that suddenly rise without warning. The déjà vu that feels more like a recall than a glitch. The dreams that leave messages etched into your waking thoughts. These are not just coincidences. They are the signals of spiritual DNA realigning itself, reclaiming ancient patterns, integrating multi-dimensional truths. You are not remembering what you've been taught. You are remembering what you've always known. As your spiritual genes activate, a new intelligence emerges from within. This is not just intellect. It is soul intelligence. You'll start noticing how certain truths seem to land in your spirit before they even make logical sense. You'll recognize frequencies before you recognize faces. You'll trust the unseen more than the loud noise of surface distractions. This is because your inner senses, once dulled by societal conditioning, are sharpening. The true compass is no longer external. It's internal, and it is calibrated to divine guidance. Do not be alarmed if this phase feels disorienting. You are undergoing an internal reprogramming. Your body is adjusting to hold more light. Your nervous system is learning to anchor higher frequencies. Your energy field is expanding and recalibrating itself to match the divine blueprint you came here with. Old paradigms will clash with your new perception. You'll question your place in this world. But the questioning is part of the awakening. It is the sacred chaos that births clarity. As you continue to walk through this spiritual rebirth, you'll begin to realize that nothing outside of you ever truly defined you. Not your job, your name, your story, or your past. You were never just a person living a life. You were a soul fulfilling a mission. And now, the deeper layers of that mission are being revealed. Some will come as sudden clarity. Others will unfold through synchronicities, signs, and subtle nudges. But all of it is happening for one reason. You are being recalled to your true origin. And that origin is not limited to this earth. You carry star codes, soul codes, and divine blueprints from realms beyond this dimension. That's why so much in this world has always felt strange to you. You weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to awaken it. You were never meant to fully fit into systems that suppress spirit. You were sent to destabilize them with light. Your spiritual genes hold the instructions for ancient knowledge that is only now beginning to surface again. You may feel an unexplainable connection to things you've never studied, a pull toward ancient civilizations, sacred geometry, light languages, symbols, sounds, and systems of knowing that have no logical source in your education. Trust these instincts. These are encoded memories unlocking themselves through your activation. You don't need to study them to access them. You already lived them. What you're doing now is remembering. You are also being called to higher responsibility. With this activation comes an inner shift in priorities. You can no longer numb your way through existence. You can't hide from your truth, deny your gifts, or shrink your presence to make others comfortable. Your spiritual DNA is incompatible with self-abandonment. Every time you dishonor yourself now, your soul will speak louder. You'll feel the dissonance like a storm inside your chest. Not because you're failing, but because you're ready to fly. This transformation is cellular. Your physical body may even respond. Fatigue, bursts of energy, ringing in the ears, tingling sensations, shifting tastes, vivid dreams, waves of emotion. You may feel as if your body is struggling to catch up with your soul. And in a way, it is. Be gentle with yourself. Rest when needed. Hydrate. Meditate. Spend time in silence. Let nature be your sanctuary. Your body is not just a vessel. It is a temple undergoing renovation to hold the divine frequencies you now carry. And as these spiritual genes continue activating, you will begin to understand the language of energy. You'll sense the truth in a person's vibration, even when their words sound convincing. You'll intuitively know what to avoid, what to pursue, and when to pause. You'll develop a kind of spiritual reflex, a deep, automatic alignment with your soul's path. Decisions won't be based on fear, but on frequency. Love won't be sought. It will be shared, generated, and mirrored. This inner change will cause ripple effects in your outer world. You may find that people you once resonated with can no longer meet you where you are. This is not your failure or theirs. It's the sacred divergence that happens when souls grow at different speeds. Don't resist this shedding. Bless it. Honor the roles people have played in your life. But do not stay small to hold space for what your soul has outgrown. The loneliness you may feel at times is a sacred space being cleared for your true soul family to enter. People who see you not through the lens of your past, but through the clarity of your frequency. They will recognize you instantly. There will be no need to explain, perform, or earn their love. They are being drawn to you as your light gets brighter, because they carry pieces of your divine puzzle. Your soul tribe is not a fantasy. It is a reality waiting for you on the other side of your authentic vibration. And in this new vibration, your purpose becomes clearer, not as a job title, but as a way of being. You are not just meant to do something. You are meant to be someone. Someone who walks with awakened energy. Someone who radiates truth without speaking. Someone who shifts rooms with their presence. You are not here to fix the world. You are here to embody the frequency of a healed world. And by doing that, you make the invisible real. You are not lost. You are being realigned. You are not breaking down. You are breaking through. Every moment of confusion is an invitation into deeper trust. Every silence is a doorway into divine wisdom. And every breakdown is a sacred clearing, making room for what is meant to come next. This is not the end of your story. It's the return to your origin, the reactivation of your soul's sacred design. So breathe deeply, anchor in, feel the truth of these words, not just in your mind, but in your body, in your spirit. You are not becoming, you are remembering. You are not awakening to something new. You are reawakening to something eternal. Your spiritual genes have turned on, and nothing will ever be the same. As your spiritual genes continue to awaken, you may begin to feel a paradox within you, something ancient, rising in a world that feels increasingly foreign. You are starting to live in two realms at once: the physical world, bound by time, structure, and rules, and the spiritual world, which breathes in symbols, energy, and timeless knowing. The gap between these two worlds is not your weakness, it's your power. It's the bridge you are being asked to build, step by step, breath by breath. You were chosen to embody this duality, not to be confused by it, but to master it, to walk with your feet on earth and your soul rooted in the stars. As your spiritual genes turn on, you will begin to feel this multi-dimensional awareness becoming natural. It might have once felt like imagination or daydreams, but now it feels like truth. You are remembering how to hold divine knowledge in a human body. This is no small thing. This is what the ancient mystics, prophets, and sages spent lifetimes preparing for. You were born ready for it. Your thoughts are no longer just thoughts. They are frequencies that shape reality. Your emotions are no longer just feelings. They are energetic codes that color your aura and magnetize your experience. You are now living in alignment with the quantum field, whether you are aware of it every moment or not. This means that your words, your attention, your beliefs, they are all tools now. They are part of the activation process, feeding the network of spiritual intelligence inside you. You will begin to see signs of this all around you: repeating numbers, mirrored messages, intuitive nudges that lead to perfect timing, dreams that reveal more than your conscious mind could invent. These are not coincidences. They are alignments, breadcrumbs left by your own soul to guide you deeper. When your spiritual genes activate, The universe begins to respond to you in real time because you are finally transmitting the right signal. And that signal is one of remembrance. You are remembering the missions you chose before incarnating, the timelines you've touched, the truths you've carried across lifetimes. Your spiritual DNA is not just a record of your ancestors, it's a living library of your cosmic history. You've been a healer, a messenger, a seer, a warrior of light, again and again. And now, in this lifetime, you've returned not just to heal, but to embody the full potential of all those roles in one body, one lifetime, one sacred mission. This isn't about ego. This isn't about superiority or hierarchy. Spiritual activation is never about being above others. It is about stepping into your authentic frequency so fully that others remember who they are just by being around you. This is quiet leadership, gentle power, radiant truth. You don't need to convince or convert. You simply need to be, fully, authentically, unapologetically. And yet this path will not always be comfortable. Activation comes with intensity, because as more light pours into your field, anything that is not aligned with that light will rise to the surface. Old wounds, deep fears, ancient contracts, these are not signs that you're failing. They are signs that your system is cleansing. Your DNA is shaking off the programs it inherited through trauma, control, fear, and silence. You are not just changing your life, you are changing the entire line of your lineage, past, present, and future. So don't fear the discomfort. Don't run from the shadows. Face them with the knowing that they are only surfacing because you are now strong enough to transmute them. You are becoming the alchemist of your own life, turning grief into clarity, pain into purpose, confusion into wisdom. This is what activated spiritual genes do. They take what was broken and rebuild it as sacred. You may also begin to feel an internal shift in how you relate to time. You'll notice that linear thinking doesn't hold you like it used to. Memories may surface from ages long past, yet they feel like now. Moments may stretch or collapse. Time speeds up, slows down, even disappears. This isn't a malfunction, it's a recalibration. Your activated self is aligning more with divine timing than clock time. This will help you live in flow, trust the unseen, and act when the soul says now, not when the world says hurry. Relationships will shift. Some will dissolve with grace, others may erupt with tension. Both are part of the realignment. Your vibration is evolving, and those who are not ready may feel triggered, threatened, or confused. That is not your burden to carry. You are not meant to dim your light to keep peace. You are meant to shine it and let it reveal what is real. Those who are meant for you will grow with you. Others will bless you by making space. In this space, you will find new connections, soul contracts being fulfilled through chance meetings, unexpected collaborations, powerful conversations. You are calling in those who match your vibration, not just your preferences. You'll meet people who see you for who you are becoming, not who you used to be. There is no need to explain yourself to these souls. They've known you across time. They feel you without needing words. And together, you will amplify each other's missions. As you walk this path, something even more miraculous begins to happen. Your body, your heart, your thoughts, all begin to synchronize into a state of coherence, a harmony that can be felt. You become a tuning fork for truth. Your presence becomes a lighthouse in dark places. You no longer need validation because you are aligned with something eternal. The more you live in coherence, the more power flows through you without force, without resistance, without fear. You'll begin to feel a deeper connection to the earth as well. Nature will seem to speak to you. Animals may be drawn to your calm. Trees may stir something deep in your memory. The wind may seem to whisper your name. This is not fantasy. This is the language of the earth. And now that your spiritual genes are activated, you can hear it. You are part of the planetary awakening. Not separate from the earth, but a voice within her great body. And she recognizes her own when they begin to rise. You may also begin to experience visions, flashes of a future not yet written, but already felt. This is not delusion. This is prophecy. Your soul is showing you possibilities that can be anchored if you stay aligned. These are not guarantees. They are invitations. They require your participation, your courage, your consistent yes. This is the co-creative power of spiritual activation. You no longer live from fate. You live from frequency. The more you align with your activated essence, the more you realize that you are no longer chasing a purpose. You are living as purpose. Every word, every breath, every act of integrity becomes sacred. You don't need a stage to have impact. You don't need permission to shine. Your life itself becomes a temple, a frequency, a beacon. You are not who the world said you were. You are not your past. You are not the pain that shaped you. You are the light that survived, the consciousness that expanded, the soul that remembered. You are walking proof that spiritual DNA is real, that awakening is possible, that something ancient has returned, and that it lives in you. And now everything you do is encoded with this energy. Every interaction becomes an imprint. Every step becomes a transmission. You are not waiting for the world to change. You are the change. You are not waiting for the future to arrive. You are becoming it. This is what happens when your spiritual genes turn on. You stop living from memory and start living from legacy. You are not the end of a story. You are the beginning of a new one that your ancestors dreamed of, one that your future selves are cheering for, one that the stars recognize and bless. And every day, as you walk in this new light, you fulfill more of what you came here to do, not by force, but by being exactly who you truly are. There will come a point in your activation when you realize that silence has become sacred to you. Not the silence of isolation or emptiness, but a rich, deep stillness where truth speaks without needing sound. This is not by accident. It is the soul's way of integrating what the mind can't yet understand. When your spiritual genes awaken, your inner world begins to vibrate louder than any external noise, and in that vibration, clarity is born. You are no longer driven by the same motivations. You begin to lose interest in proving your worth. You stop needing validation from those who cannot see you. You feel less drawn to conflict, less reactive to chaos, more anchored in a truth that feels eternal. You start to recognize that your presence alone, your energy, your gaze, your stillness, can affect rooms more than your words ever could. That is not a coincidence. That is the gift of your spiritual biology. It broadcasts light even in the absence of sound. Your intuition sharpens. Your gut feelings become undeniable. What once felt like subtle hints now roar like thunder through your system. And as you honor those promptings, you begin to move with divine precision, making choices not from fear, but from a deeper knowing. This is your spiritual DNA guiding you, not through logic, but through resonance. It pulls you toward what is aligned and steers you away from what will dim your fire. This path is not always met with celebration. Many will not understand what you are becoming. They may question your changes, misread your silence, or feel discomfort in your growing light. But this too is part of your training. When your spiritual genes turn on, your soul begins to speak louder than your personality. And not everyone is ready to hear that voice. That is not your failure. That is their invitation. Whether they accept it or not is not your burden to carry. You begin to notice how certain places feel different to you. You can sense the energy of a room before stepping into it. You walk into environments and feel whether they are clean or chaotic on a vibrational level. You touch objects and sense memory. You pass people on the street and feel their pain. This sensitivity is not a curse. It is your new compass. It shows you where you are needed, where healing wants to happen, where the old must give way to the new. At first, this heightened awareness can feel overwhelming, like carrying too much in a world that doesn't know how to travel light. But in time, you learn how to hold your energy like a sacred container. You become the eye of the storm, not untouched by the world, but unwavering in the middle of it. This is what your activated genes teach you, not to escape the world, but to transform it from the inside out without ever leaving yourself behind. You also begin to understand that everything is energy. Words, thoughts, food, music, light, sound, people. You learn to be selective with what you allow into your field, not out of fear, but out of reverence. You are not judging, you are simply discerning. Because you've come to realize that what you consume, you become. And what you become, you project. You are no longer willing to sabotage your frequency for temporary comfort. You choose alignment, even when it's inconvenient. That is the path of an activated soul. The more you align, the more synchronicity becomes your language. You find yourself in the right place at the right time. Doors open without effort. People appear with the exact wisdom or resource you need. Paths unfold, not by pushing, but by allowing. This is not magic, it is mastery. You are walking in the rhythm of your highest timeline, one step at a time, one breath at a time, one sacred decision at a time. You may find yourself drawn to ancient knowledge, mysticism, sacred texts, forgotten symbols, lost languages. You feel a pull toward the origins of life, not as history, but as memory. These are echoes from your spiritual DNA. You are remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. You are reaching beyond doctrine into experience, beyond belief into embodiment. You are no longer seeking something to worship. You are remembering the divinity within you. This remembering changes how you move, how you love, how you speak. You stop performing. You stop chasing. You start aligning. You start emanating. You live less from control and more from trust. You realize you don't need to manipulate outcomes when you are already magnetizing truth. This shift is subtle, but it is everything. It turns your life into a beacon, a frequency that calls in only what matches your truest vibration. And yes, there are moments of doubt. There are moments where you may feel stretched, unworthy, tired, even lost. That is part of the shedding. Your old self will resist the transformation at times. It will try to pull you back into familiar roles, patterns, masks. Don't judge this. Love it. Witness it. Release it. Because each time you say no to the illusion, you say yes to your true self. Each time you let go of who you thought you had to be, you make room for who you really are. You become less interested in answers and more attuned to questions. Not because you're lost, but because you're awakening to the mystery. You realize that not everything can be solved. Some truths are felt, not figured out. Some moments are meant to be lived, not explained. This surrender doesn't weaken you. It frees you. It opens you to divine intelligence, to guidance that comes in ways the mind could never predict. In this freedom, creativity is reborn. You start to create not from strategy, but from soul. Your art, your words, your work, it carries a different frequency. It speaks to something deeper in others. It awakens something sleeping. This is how spiritual DNA works. It doesn't just change you, it changes everything you touch. It turns your life into a living transmission. And in that transmission, others begin to remember too. Just by being around you, just by hearing your voice, just by feeling your presence, you trigger awakening without even trying. You spark remembrance in others without ever needing to explain yourself. You become a mirror, a portal, a permission slip, not by force, but by authenticity. And what a gift that is. You begin to realize that the journey of activation is not just personal, it is planetary, cosmic. You are part of a great unfolding, a silent revolution of light bearers reclaiming their essence, each one waking up one by one like stars in a sleeping sky. And together we form constellations of remembrance, networks of truth, webs of light that crisscross the earth. And in the quiet moments, when you doubt your place in it all, remember this: you didn't come here to fit in. You came here to turn on. You didn't come here to be understood by everyone. You came here to embody a frequency that hasn't been seen in generations. You are not alone. You never were. Every heartbeat of your activation is being felt across timelines, across galaxies, across dimensions. Because when your spiritual genes turn on, you stop being a seeker and you start being a signal. There's a moment in every chosen one's journey where the veil thins completely. Not for seconds, but for entire seasons. You stop seeing the world through ordinary eyes. Instead, you see through layers, layers of energy, intention, soul contracts, and unspoken truths. Everything begins to shimmer with significance. That person didn't just enter your life by chance. That coincidence was not random. That memory didn't resurface for no reason. You begin to read the symbols of your life, the way ancient mystics once read the stars. And this isn't imagination. It's insight. It's perception sharpened by the soul. Because your spiritual genes don't just wake you up to your potential, they wake you up to reality itself. A reality where every moment is encoded with meaning, and every experience is a doorway to remembrance. You no longer walk through the world blindly. You move like someone who has seen the map, someone who remembers why they came. And part of that remembering is painful, because awakening often begins with grief. You start to mourn who you were never allowed to be. You grieve the years spent in roles that shrunk you. You feel the ache of every moment your voice was silenced, your light dimmed, your truth dismissed. This is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's your body releasing what no longer matches your frequency. You are not breaking. You are clearing. You are detoxing lifetimes of suppression. And sometimes that grief isn't even yours. It's ancestral. It's collective. It rises from the bones of your bloodline. You may not understand the weight you carry, but you feel it. A deep sorrow that has no name. A fatigue that lives in your cells. That too is part of your activation. You are not just healing yourself. You are the turning point of generations. The hinge in the story. The one who said, "The pain ends with me." This is the power of spiritual DNA. It awakens not just your gifts, but your lineage. You begin to feel the prayers of your ancestors moving through you. The dreams they couldn't voice now live in your choices. The healing they couldn't reach is now available in your hands. You are the answered prayer of someone who came long before you, and now you walk with all of them behind you. With this comes a great responsibility, not to carry everything, but to transmute it, to turn fear into faith, pain into purpose, shadow into light. This is not easy work, but it is sacred, and the deeper you go, the more you realize that your pain was never punishment. It was preparation. The struggle was never meant to stop you. It was meant to strip away everything false, to burn off the masks, to uncover the diamond inside. As this diamond is revealed, so too is your authority. You stop outsourcing your power. You stop waiting for permission to be who you are. You realize that the authority you sought in others was always hidden in your own voice, in your own fire. And now that you found it, you are no longer negotiable. You don't water yourself down to be palatable. You don't shrink to make others comfortable. You don't ask to be chosen. You remember that you were born chosen. And with this remembering comes direction, not in the form of a rigid plan, but as an inner compass that cannot be compromised. You stop making decisions out of desperation or scarcity. You begin to move from alignment. You feel the vibration of yes before you even have the full picture. You sense when something is off, even if the surface looks perfect. This intuitive knowing is not arrogance. It is activation. It is the voice of your spiritual genes speaking to you in frequencies beyond language. You also begin to attract others like you, souls whose lights have also turned on. There is an unspoken recognition when you meet. You look into their eyes and feel a home you didn't know you were missing. These are your soulkin, your energetic family. They do not complete you, they reflect you. Together, you amplify each other's power. You remind one another of what is possible. You become co-creators of the new earth. But not all connections survive this transformation. Some will fall away, some will resist your rising, some will try to tether you to the old version of yourself because it made them feel safe. Don't judge this. Don't fight it. Just release with love. Because as you rise in frequency, not everything can follow you. And that's okay. What is meant for you will rise to meet you. What is aligned will magnetize to your truth. You'll notice that you begin to create differently. Your work becomes more infused with soul. Whether you're writing, teaching, parenting, painting, leading, or simply being, you are transmitting something unseen but undeniable. People won't always know what it is about you. They'll just feel better in your presence. Calmer, braver, seen. And that's because your aura has become a sanctuary. Your field has become a healing space. This is the essence of spiritual DNA. It doesn't just change what you do, it changes how you are. You become a portal of peace in a world that profits from panic. You become a signal of truth in a society addicted to illusion. You become a presence that makes people remember their own soul. And sometimes, the most radical thing you can do is be that presence. Not to convince, not to convert, just to be, authentically, unapologetically, present. Because your very being now carries a code, a frequency that disrupts illusion and awakens truth. And in that, your life becomes your mission. You no longer chase purpose like a distant finish line. You are the purpose, in how you speak, in how you listen, in how you walk through the world. The awakened chosen one no longer waits for destiny. You realize you are destiny unfolding. You realize every step you take is sacred. Every breath is a prayer. Every moment is a chance to anchor the divine into the earth. You begin to feel it in your body, a sacred urgency, a call to keep rising, to keep shedding, to keep trusting the pull of the unknown. This urgency doesn't rush you. It empowers you, because you know time isn't running out. It's aligning. The more you listen, the more you're led. The more you trust, the more you're shown. The more you embody, the more you magnetize. And in those moments of doubt or fatigue, when the path feels long and the world feels heavy, remember this: you were chosen for this time. You were born with the codes. And now, those codes are online. You are not who you were before. You couldn't go back if you tried. Your soul has turned something on that cannot be turned off. The light is here to stay. And you are just beginning to understand how powerful you've become.